In Mystic Falls, control is something everyone claims to have until it slips through your fingers or is pushed off the ledge. Tonight, keeping it together might be the hardest fight of all. Welcome to Under Control. Welcome back to Bloodlines and Backdrops. It's been a week since you've seen us, but it has been 2 minutes since we've seen each other. We took a quick bathroom break, and we are back to record episode 18. So, again, I told you.
Look,
I told you.
I took my shoes off. I got my feet up. I'm getting real comfy for this episode.
We're cozy.
And also, hold on. Let me put a little promo in. Slippers.
Y'all, these slippers are cute.
Vampire Stalkers.
They're on the website, mysticfallstours.com.
And if you want to see my toes, go to Patreon. I'll show my feet over there.
We have bloody feet. We have bloody feet. No, these chairs are.
They really are.
Damon sat in this chair in the library, and I get it.
I don't know where mine's from. That's just random.
I had to consciously make myself say library right then, and
you still didn't say it right.
My husband knows. Yeah, my husband knows me. I say library, so he literally gave a look as I'm consciously trying to say library.
Why do you put an accent on it? Just say library.
It's just how I
God. Library.
At the library.
Library.
At the library. Shut the fuck up. Let's dive into it. All right. Now, episode 18, Under Control. I'm going to be honest. Not my favorite episode. I feel like 16 is kind of slow. 17's like, whoa. Yeah. And then 18 goes back to be kind of slow. And then the next episode, things are going to pick up. But this one is definitely a lead up. It's a lead up.
Yeah, it was very... Not really, because it wasn't like a filler. It was kind of boring.
And the new character we meet Uncle John.
What is everybody's immediate beef with Uncle John?
Immediately, everyone hates him.
Everybody's like, oh.
Everyone hates him immediately. Oh. And I get it, honestly, if that's the introduction. So, the episode opens up. Stefan's working out. Yummy.
I literally put, opening scene. Woo.
Yum, yum.
He's like pulling from the raptors.
Yeah, the only thing missing was the ropes and the vervain. And that would have made that scene a little sexier. So him and Damon are kind of, having a conversation, and he's like, no, dude, I'm okay. And Damon's like, I don't think you are. I think it's probably a little bit worse this time. And Damon sets down a glass of blood, and then Stefan's kind of looking at it, and then he turns around. And he's like, oh, whoops, sorry. I forgot something. And then picks up the blood and walks out of the room.
Why is he taunting him so bad? I mean, he's really Stefan's struggling. He's trying to get it together. And Damon's like,
yeah, and we don't even understand the whole Stefan struggling yet. It's not, they haven't explained it.
I think that's why Damon messing with him is kind of getting on my nerves, because it's like, dude, you know how bad it can get, but he doesn't know how bad it can get.
He doesn't.
Because I think in that scene, Damon says, we've never talked about this. And, kind of go in a little bit more, and then Stefan's like, no.
And they will through the series. We're gonna learn a little bit more about it, but Stefan is an addict. It is. It is, and that's a really good word. It's a really good word to use.
That's what I feel like when I try to quit vaping.
Listen, as someone who successfully quit smoking, it's true. And when I say successfully, I've done it multiple times, and it's very hard to do when you're addicted to something. So we talked about Uncle John. So Uncle John shows up, and immediately nobody likes him. Nobody. Not a single family member is happy to see Uncle John. Elena's like, oh, Uncle John's here. And Jeremy's like, oh, okay. And Jenna clearly really doesn't like him. Yes. I'm assuming because they used to sleep together, which they do confirm a little bit later in the episode. But I kind of got that vibe right off the bat, that this was somebody she used to sleep with, and she's annoyed by them. Which, everybody was in high school. Everybody did that kind of thing where you were messing with someone's brother or whoever.
Before they confirmed it, I was thinking, and this is a long shot, I was just coming up with stuff. I was thinking maybe they asked John to take the kids, and he was like, oh, hell no. Yeah. And then Jenna got stuck with them, so maybe there's a little resentment between I could have been living my life, you're old, you could have just taken the kids.
That makes sense. Okay.
So that was kind of a little maybe she's a little hateful because he didn't have anything to do with helping them.
And isn't having anything to do with helping them, because he says later in the episode that the last time he was in town with his brother's
for the
funeral.
Yeah.
So it's not even been a year, and this is the first time he's shown up to check on the kids to help with anything, and we learned that's not even what he's there for. So Uncle John shows up. Yeah, nobody likes Uncle John. Even Matt says he doesn't like Uncle John when Elena's like, guess who's here? And he's like, I never liked that guy. I'm like, oh, even Matt Donovan didn't like him. So Uncle John he's just not like
Matt's just trying to get good points. He's like, yeah, I hated that dude too.
Yeah,
you like me?
Never liked him. Now, they're back in the Stoner Pit this episode, which we were excited about. We love the Stoner Pit.
Which is real too, isn't it? It's
part
of the actual... Oh, that's part of the
stages.
Okay.
Yeah, it was part of the stages. I wish it was. That'd be so fun.
I thought it was a part of the real high school.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so the Stoner Pit is back.
Yes,
we're very excited about the Stoner Pit. And so Jeremy's sitting out there. I guess Jeremy, like, he knows Vicky's
He's reminiscing.
Dead. He's reminiscing, right?
Yes.
And then Tyler's like, he's like, no. And he's like, what's your problem?
And also in that scene, Tyler's, because Jeremy's like, something's weird. She didn't OD. Did she OD and then, like, bury her own body?
Yeah.
And Tyler goes, man, she probably just saw something. Like, what is going in Mystic Falls? Is there a drug ring in Mystic Falls?
Saw what?
Yeah.
Also, it's the middle of the school day. The last time you asked Jeremy if he had weed, he said he didn't. Why are you so upset Jeremy doesn't want to smoke weed with you?
And I was like, is there some, like, mafia in Mystic Falls? And Tyler's like, man, she could have just saw something.
Well, that's what I wrote down, that Jeremy needs to stop trying to tell everyone about the vampires. Yes, it's like he's asking questions to see what people may or may not know, or who he thinks he could tell without sounding crazy.
And also, it's this episode, so I'll go ahead and say it. If they would just tell Jeremy what is going on, so many problems would be solved. So many problems. Like, Elena's like, I'm trying to protect him. It would protect him more if you just told him the truth. If you just told him.
Yes. And this is where things start to get annoying too, because they start like, oh, Jeremy's just a kid. He's 1 year younger than Elena and almost a foot taller. So the whole...
And also, not to mention,
Also, yes, not to mention that at all. Yes, so that part...
Homie's a little buff, all right? I think he can take on...
He's bigger than Stefan. He's bigger than Stefan. It just gets on my nerves.
Really quick, this has nothing to do with Vampire Diaries, but it's funny. Heated Rivalries, I told y'all I was watching that. There is a storyline in the show where a hockey player and this barista get together, and they take their clothes off, they're getting a little steamy. The barista is more jacked than the hockey player. And that's what it reminds me of.
Spoilers. Larry wants to watch that show. Spoilers? No.
Yeah, sorry. Spoiled Larry.
Okay, so Uncle John shows up at a council meeting, and he brings up what we talked about last episode. He says that blood bags are missing, people have been killed, which we had said before. Pearl had said before that some of the vampires kind of went off into the woods, so it sounds like they found some snacks. And Damon's like, who was this dude? And even Sheriff Forbes is like, he's an asshole. Nobody likes John Gilbert. Yes. And so now Damon's curious, why is he here? And all of that stuff. So...
And also, Damon couldn't be any more obvious, too.
No.
He's just like, yeah, who...
Couldn't be any more obvious. That? Yeah, also, put on a color. Put on a color if you want to blend in. He's been in all black the whole time. Just, golly. All right. Alaric tells Elena that Jeremy wrote a paper about vampires. And she's like, oh, maybe it's fake. He doesn't really believe this, LOL. But I'm like, why? Why would you jump to it's fake? What are the odds of you getting a vampire boyfriend and then all of a sudden your brother's writing vampire stories? Like, that does not seem like a coincidence. She knows
Anna's a vampire. And she knows Anna was talking to Jeremy.
Yes, and all those things. Yes, it's like...
It couldn't be more in her face.
It's not safe to tell them the truth.
Why not?
Why?
Yeah, like, why? I feel like it would be safer to let him know what's going on.
And I don't want to say this to the character, to the writers. It almost feels like she's claiming that for herself. Like, if they don't know, then I get all the protection. Then I'm the one that needs to be protected. If they all know, then now Stefan's got to protect Jeremy. Now Stefan has to protect blah, blah, blah.
But why would he... I mean, the same thing's going to happen. Just Jeremy would be aware of what's going on.
Well, he would at least have a warning.
Because it's not like Twilight where there's like the Volturi and, stuff like that.
And Yeah, exactly like you said, even going back to Anna and Jeremy, like, you know they're hanging out, you know they like each other. Stefan told you. Like, it just...
I think it's just Elena being Elena.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very Elena coded, like, woe is me, everything's about me, you can't die for me, I have to die, yada, like, just shut up.
Just like, yeah,
it's let them die for you, who cares?
So, and then Alaric, reminds her. He says, Stefan seems cool, but he's still a vampire. And then that's when she's like,
He's different. I can change him.
Which is what someone who has a trauma bond with someone would say. And this is, like we said, he is an addict right now. He's like, Stefan seems like a good guy, but he's still a vampire.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, whatever. So all that happens, and it is. He's an addict, and that is what someone sounds like a trauma. That sounds like, someone that's been, their boyfriend hit him in the face. And, he didn't mean it like that.
He's just
not
lost
like
his
those
game.
guys.
It only happens when he loses his Marvel Rivals match. That's it.
Like, it's very upsetting. It's like, oh my God, they didn't pick
Thor
him.
killed him back to back. You have to understand.
He didn't capture the flag in Halo.
Amber just showed her age right there.
I know. I wrote John Girlbet. Just said Gilbert. John Gilbert tells Jeremy that he has to show his face to the family. This part is so annoying. He's like, they're sitting at the table, and he's like, I don't care about this shit. And he's like, well, you better care, because one day I'm going to sit down and tell you all about your heritage. And I'm like, is this the South trying to rise again?
Literally.
What are we talking about?
That's what I thought, dude. It felt a little like racist.
It felt weird. Like, it was a very weird conversation.
Like, don't mix them.
Yes, exactly. It's like the pure bloods. We got to get rid of the vampires. We only want the pure bloods around here. But no, it was very strange. He was like, no, you need to show face. You're going to have to represent this family one day, blah, blah, blah. And Jeremy's like, what are you talking about?
Jeremy's like, dude, I just want to listen to my music.
Yeah,
I just want to date my vampire girlfriend.
He's like, I don't want to be a founding family member. Like, all this. Like, also, why would it need to be Jeremy and not Elena? Because, at this point, he doesn't know that Elena's adopted. He's about to find out.
Yeah, that is true.
Even at that moment, John's putting all the pressure on the man in the family to be the founding whatever. All right, so Stefan gives Elena some good advice, and he basically says, you should talk to your brother. What does he know? Like, why is he writing this paper? Is it just, something he's curious about? Or Stefan's also like, this is kind of weird. Like, you should talk to him about it. And I felt like he was also kind of giving her the okay to...
Yeah, like
tell him or have the actual conversation with him, because again, like you said, he's friends with Anna, so it's not.
And I think Stefan probably gets that, but then he also doesn't want to push Elena because of everything that's been going on.
Right.
So maybe she's just like, well,
so
you can if you want to.
And this is where I think that we might have the same note, because they start making out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they start making out. Yeah, I'll let you do it.
It gets a little hot and steamy.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little too intense, and Stefan throws himself back into the wall, which if you are a true vampire fan, like I am, you might remember in Twilight when Bella and Edward are making out on the bed, and then all you hear is, stop it! And then, Edward flies back into the wall. They copied that 100%.
Yeah, they absolutely copied that. And he broke a lamp. He did,
it
part was
100% from Twilight. There's even an interview, I remember seeing this, where Paul Wesley, they asked him, like, how did you feel about Twilight, when y'all were starting the Vampire Diaries? And he was like, I never watched it. You're lying. Okay? You're lying. He may
never watched it, but the writers did. The writers watched it. Maybe he didn't, but the writers absolutely watched it. And we know for a fact they were already filming New Moon by the time they were filming season 1 of Vampire Diaries. So that scene was out.
They 100% copied it.
Yeah, so it's definitely a copied scene. Sorry, guys. I'm going to call it. That's the only time I've ever called you out about copying
I do think it was better in Twilight because, he did the, stop it.
Well, there's a big debate about this because the Vampire Diaries books came out first, so there's a big debate about who copied who.
But I feel like the books are so different from the show.
The books are very different,
them.
but you could say the same thing about Twilight books in the movie. But we're
getting
off topic. But yes, I also wrote that down. Mm-hmm. So it was. I said my boy snaps like Edward when he gets a little too close. So Yeah.
Which I appreciate. You know, I'm a huge Twilight fan. I did like seeing it, but then I was kind of like, y'all could be a little bit more original.
Yeah. Well, they do throw in a couple of fun little Twilight things throughout the series as well. Which, by the way, the other day, Presley was wearing a Twilight shirt when we did the Covington Connection, and I posted a photo. Someone responded to the photo and said, I love the tour guests wearing Twilight on the tour. And I said, no, that's the guide. And they were like, that's even better. They were like, that's so fun. I was like, yeah.
So fun fact, I have a little TikTok. I have some tour stuff on it. But I follow the tour guide for Twilight, and I want to text her and be like, yo, you will never guess what I do for work. See if we can get a little...
We should do that. We need to take a tour. We need to take a trip up there. We should do an episode up there.
I'm just broke. Y'all watch the podcast, please, so I can go to Forks, Washington.
Yeah, please. So Elena invites Damon over, tells him she's really worried, you know, and she says that she should have been paying better attention. Mm-hmm. He says to her, you should have been paying better attention to what vampires were capable of from the beginning. That's basically what he's saying to her. Like, I get that you're worried, but because she says, when's he gonna be normal again? Mm-hmm. And it's like, bruh,
you're literally dating a vampire.
You're dating a vampire.
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
There's nothing normal about that. And yeah, Damon's basically like, you should have been paying attention this whole time, because he can't answer that question, because I don't even think he knows at this point what he's capable of. So they get to this founders thing. Damon mentions blah, blah, blah. Elena runs into Stefan, and he's drunk. Mm-hmm. And here is the dress that Elena's wearing in the episode. There's this picture here. This actually came with the dress, so this is actually from production. They wrote on here season 1, episode 18, which looks like it's in like a, maybe like a gold Sharpie. Some kind of gold Sharpie. This is a tiny, tiny dress. I do not have the shawl over it. She did have like a little shawl that she puts on to go outside in the episode, but we don't have that.
Can I just say, so much better on screen. I don't know if you can... It's not as pretty.
It's really not. It's very...
It's kind of fugly.
Yeah, it's very...
It looks like something like a mom would wear to a wedding.
It looks almost cheap. Ugh, kind of
yeah, but like when she's wearing it, it looks pretty.
It does. It looks really nice, but I don't think it doesn't shimmer. This is actually kind of shimmery, and you don't see that on camera. No. But also,
you also don't really see the bow. I think the bow's throwing it off. It's a weird material.
I think also it's just not our style, and that's probably part of it. Like this is
just
like
it's not a t-shirt and leggings.
No, it's not. It's not a black ball gown. It's not. Yeah. So, but anyways, this is a dress that she's wearing, and I was excited that we have that. Mm-hmm. So Elena runs into him. She says something about the DJ. He goes and compels the DJ, and then everybody's like, "Hell yeah, woo,
and look,
party!"
You know what made that scene so much better? Knowing it was probably completely silent in that room, and they're all just dancing.
Yeah, so a little fun thing. I don't know if we've mentioned this on the podcast.
I don't think we have yet.
But they actually film party scenes in silence, and they do that because it is easier to add in than it is to take out. Mm-hmm. So they'll film all those scenes and then add in the music later. So a lot of the times when they're dancing like that, they're dancing in silence.
It is the goofiest thing in the world.
It is goofy to see.
It's so funny. And especially because if you think about it, you know, you have like all those people around, if everybody's talking at once, but then you need to hear, you know, Stefan and Elena talking. When you go to edit that, you know, it's going to be hard to isolate their voice from everything else going around.
It is. And now, I love that this whole scene happened because Elena was like, you don't dance, and he was like, sober Stefan doesn't dance, drunk Stefan does, and then he takes Kelly Donovan out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Doesn't even pick up Elena, doesn't even, like, gets the DJ, and then he's like, well,
I'll tell you right now, I am ready for Kelly to... ship.
She's on my last nerve. Now, I wrote this quickly. Jenna and Alaric again, finally. It's been a minute. I think Alaric needed to take a beat after he found out that Isabel, all that stuff. Yeah. So we haven't seen Jenna and Alaric together in a minute, but I'm a huge fan of Jenna and Alaric.
I am too.
I love seeing them back together in this scene, chatting, you know, hopefully
I think it's just Jenna also. I love Jenna's character.
I do too.
They do her very dirty.
Damon gets a little flirty with Sheriff Forbes, and
Did you notice she's not in her uniform?
She's not.
This is a rare sight. Sheriff Forbes is not in uniform.
I actually wrote down that I loved her Y2K haircut. Mm-hmm. Like she had her haircut was very cute. I thought, Marguerite, if you're watching, you look fire as hell, girl. You look hot in that scene. So I agree. I thought that the flirting was necessary. And he was like, hey, girl, you look cute. Mm-hmm. And then she basically said, you surprised me. I didn't think that we were going to be friends. And then she tells Damon all this stuff about John Gilbert. So she says, she says to him that he's a founding family member and that everything that he has said is happening is checking out. So she's like, I checked into everything that he said and it's legit. Like, they are stealing the blood bags. They are whatever, blah, blah, blah. We have a problem. And at that time, Jeremy walks up and starts asking questions about Vicky. And they're like, it's a closed case. It was an overdose. He's like, yeah, but somebody buried her body, which is a legit question to ask the sheriff.
Like, just tell Jeremy. Just tell him. Just tell him, and it just stops.
It is this point where it is at this point, and I feel like Damon is thinking about it. Like, I feel like Damon is thinking, do I try to compel him?
He's either going to tell him or kill him.
Yes.
One of those.
It's one of those things. Like, do I just tell him the truth? Do I whatever? Yes. So Damon goes and runs and tells Elena that Jeremy's asking questions, offers to compel him again. She says no.
And then he's like, oh, who would hide a body? Me.
Exactly. So then Stefan says, hey, can you please come dance with your alcoholic vampire boyfriend? I hate that line so much. I didn't
like Stefan this episode.
I hate Stefan in this whole scene. It drives me insane. He starts acting so alpha douchebag. The guy bumps into Elena, and then he's like, you need to apologize. You need to, And this is like, it's annoying.
So, question, all right, and we're gonna kind of jump a little forward. So he compels him, right? Like, is that what you picked up? He compels him to tell her he's sorry.
Yes.
All right. Later on in the episode, we're gonna jump ahead. When he is outside,
he says,
the guy,
I can't stop
saying I'm sorry. But then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and he's like messing with him. Is it because he forgot to say, like, walk away and forget this happened? Because, they do that every time they compel somebody.
They're like, to have been something like that.
Forget that this happened.
Because the guy's really annoyed because he's like, what's this all about?
Yes, and I didn't know if maybe the compulsion wasn't working. And because at first that's what I thought. I was like, oh, he didn't really compel him, or if it was he forgot to say something to make him kind of forget.
I think that he.
And if he did, that was a really cool part on the writers doing that.
I was gonna say we're gonna see it again. We're going to see that happen again in an episode that I will tell you off camera. So remind me of another time that but I think you're right. It is good on the writers. I do think that it is
I thought it was pretty cool.
There's a little something missing. And yes, so we'll go into that. And if anybody's watched the show, then they probably know exactly what scene I'm talking about. John approaches Damon and he's like, I think it's like 1864.
That whole interaction.
He's like, I think it's like 1864 all over again. I'm like, you weren't there. You weren't alive. What are you talking about?
And then Damon's like, maybe.
Yeah. So he basically tells Damon, he knows who he is.
Yeah.
He says, I know that you're the one that opened the tomb. I know that you're a vampire. I know all this stuff. And Damon's like, well, then you know that you're dumb.
And then he's like, it's not even worth. Like, I'm not even going to deal with you right now, dude.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even want to. Snap, boom. Throws him off of the ledge.
Yes, and also, John shows he knows a lot. But how does he know about the tomb? That's what I was questioning.
Yeah,
I'm
so we got a lot to learn.
Yeah, so he's, dropping all this information, but like, where the hell did you get it from?
Where did you get the information from? Catherine. It has to be from Catherine. So we'll see.
Is it?
It has to be. I don't know. I don't know for sure. We're watching. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to jump forward, but.
I gotta shut up because I'm gonna start like spoiling episodes ahead. So
I mean, I think that's the truth, though. I honestly can't remember because it's been so long since I rewatched season 1. So we'll have to see. Oh yes, that you could be right about that as well.
I don't know.
But I think it's Catherine. But we'll see. But I also wrote down, if Damon hasn't done enough to Elena, go ahead and kill her uncle too. Just. You were starting to redeem yourself a little bit, buddy.
Yeah. At this point, Elena's only standing family member is Jenna. That's it. Jenna and Jeremy.
Why? Anyways. All right. So Elena goes and sits down with Jeremy, and she's basically like telling him that he needs to move on from Vicky. And, Jeremy's like reading between the lines and picking stuff up, and she's like, it is what it is. And this is what I love about him, because she says what it was, and he was like, what do you mean what it was?
Yeah, you also don't think it was an overdose, do you?
Yeah, and then so he starts, one thing that I love about Jeremy is he's playing detective here. I feel
he won't drop a single thing.
He's not dropping anything, and he is reading between the lines. He's picking up every accidental thing you say.
Even remember when Vicky went missing and they had the whole search party, Jeremy went. Matt was like, sorry, I got class at 8.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go.
Yeah, Jeremy went. Jeremy, I do agree. He loves hard. But he can tell that she's lying. He can tell that she's lying, and this would have been a good opportunity for her to say, hey, remember earlier when she confronted him about the vampires and, she told him that she was adopted and all this stuff, like, she just moved on from it so quickly. She just believed him so quickly, and then that was just the end of it. And, like, here you are again. He's asking all these questions, and, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious that he does know something, that you're both
and I think it's just one of those things. I think it's like the sex talks with parents. I think she just doesn't want to do it. I think she's just like, oh, you don't believe him? Okay, great. Yeah. I don't have to do it now. I don't think it's really... I think she knows, but she's just like, I don't want to have this conversation. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
And maybe that's what it is, but it's wrong. It's wrong.
It is wrong.
All right, Kelly and Tyler. Yuck. Just yuck. Just yuck.
And in that scene, Tyler is literally talking about... I was so mean to Vicky. I just wish I could make it up to her. Let me hook up with her mom, please.
He says, I feel like I don't deserve to miss her, and then starts feeling up her mom.
Like, shut up. I hate Tyler.
There's not a redeeming quality about any character, either one of those characters right now at this point.
No, and I think they do so good. They're so high schooly.
Yes, and even Matt, because obviously Matt steps up, starts beating the shit out of Tyler. Bacon in it. Tyler flips. He is wailing on Matt. Alaric pulls him off, and Tyler's like, I don't understand what's wrong with me. I don't understand what's wrong with me. And we'll obviously get into that in a few episodes, but. Why? You're making out with his mom, dude.
So
your best friend, who you like. Let's not even talk about Vicky in the woods in the second episode and what Tyler did to her in the woods, and now he's doing this. I'm sorry, but Tyler sucks.
And also, you remember when is it when Jeremy and Tyler get into a fight? Mayor Lockwood takes Tyler and them outside, and he's like, fight. And then Alaric comes out and he's like, why don't me and you fight? Like, fight me, do something. Yeah. And then in that scene, Mayor Lockwood's like, no, it's okay, Tyler. You're good. Everybody go back to the party. And then he, like, thanks Alaric. He's like, yeah, man, thank you for breaking that up. And I thought that was weird. Like, y'all don't remember the last time y'all were in this situation?
But then he takes him into another room and, like, punches him in the face or smacks him in the face or whatever and is like, you need to stop embarrassing this family. And it's like, well...
As he's trying to hook up with Pearl at the grill.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are we talking about? Dude's like father, like son here, dude. Y'all are both trash. Like, it's not good. But they all got smashed up and bloody because, the fight broke out. Glass got broken, all that stuff. And so, oh, man, that scene with Stefan and Kelly was so weird.
I know.
It was so uncomfortable.
And Kelly, she did such a good job of portraying, like...
He's literally just like...
And then he's like... and she's like, what are you doing?
She's like, what are you... He's just staring, and then he's just like...
And this is what I mean by, in this episode, I just don't like Stefan. Like, he's so weird.
It's uncomfortable. The staring at her was uncomfortable. I think she was kind of out of it at first. Great acting, though. But when he rubs his fingers across...
And can I talk about how nasty it was when he, like, starts licking the
barbecue
blood?
Sauce? I literally wrote down that he starts suckling his fingers like barbecue sauce.
Like, it made my stomach turn watching it.
It was because I knew it was about to happen.
First off, Kelly Donovan out of everybody is the spiciest blood you've ever tasted.
Uncle John's alive.
And did you see? Damon is literally like, does anybody see what's going on right now?
He's like, you may know this, and maybe we'll pop it in. But do you remember? The Tom DeLonge meme from the one where he's Boomer, where he has on the blonde leg and he's like, what the fuck? That's Damon in that moment. Anyways,
and I love because he's like Ian's like towering over everybody in that scene, and he was doing such a good job of like. It's like he's looking for a lark to be like, yo, what the...
He's looking for someone because he had already told Stefan that he killed Uncle John.
Yes.
So he's looking for someone. So Uncle John comes walking in, but then Damon's like, hey, look at his hand.
Mm-hmm. And he tells Alaric, look at the ring. And then Damon or Alaric says, "Oh, I got it from my wife," and then Damon's like, "Oh, you mean your wife who gave birth to Elena at Gracie Gilbert's office, who was John's brother?" Makes sense.
He starts putting 2 and 2 together quickly in that moment. I will say Damon starts connecting the family tree. He starts doing that.
And I also think in this episode, I think Ian's acting is really, I think all of them are getting comfortable with their characters. And you can kind of tell that. Because I even talk about this on the tour, the first couple of episodes, I mean, it's rough. It's awkward. It's corny.
Rough. Well, it's introductions.
Yes, and then after they figure out kind of what they want the character to also be, this is where it starts to be like, okay, you know what Damon's going to do.
I do agree. Ian had to develop Damon.
Yes, and he did a great job.
It was tougher to do than Stefan. Not that Paul wasn't.
Yes.
Stefan's character...
Damon's a lot more...
doesn't have the same growth as quickly as Damon does.
And I think, too, is... Stefan is a lot more simpler. Like, he's a normal guy who just wants to live a normal life. Doing the sarcasm and making it not be corny is very hard. And I think Ian does a great job. I don't think anybody could have ever played Damon as good as Ian does.
Yeah, it would have been hard.
And I also don't think, Ian could recreate that if he tried to. Because then everybody would just think, like, oh, you're trying to act like Damon now. Yeah. So I love how their acting is growing so far.
I agree. And we see a lot of it. I think that I love Damon when it's him, Alaric, and John all talking. And the three of them are having the conversation, and John's basically like, he's asking all these questions, and he's like, oh, you have so many questions, but, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when he says, he said, my ring is a family ring. Mm-hmm. He said, it came from my brother. I got it when my brother died. He said, your ring was one that I gave to Isabel, which I wouldn't have given to her if I would have known she was going to give it to another guy. So now we know John has slept with Jenna and Isabel. So we know that he's like... Yeah. So, and then I wrote down here, he says, who do you think sent Isabel to you? So John says, I sent Isabel to you, Damon. So John's known about Damon for a long time.
I think I missed all of this when I was watching it.
Yeah.
I think I was texting you during these scenes.
The 3 of them outside, okay? So then I wrote down, I need you to screenshot it right at 36 minutes because I have season 1 Damon haircut. It is the same. And I think this is a good point in the episode for me to bring up. That
I'm going to put that in the thumbnail. I'm going to put...
No, you got to. It's literally the same haircut. Larry and I were losing it last night. So, and I think it's a good point for me to bring up because I have had a couple people comment on my haircuts. I have not had the same hairstyle for more than 2 episodes. I am okay. Okay. I am okay. I'm not having mental issues. I'm just trying to figure it out right now. Can't go much further than this. Yeah. I could shave my head next episode. Maybe. I don't know.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Who knows? I think I've done that at one point. So I'm okay. All right. But I did unintentionally get season 1 Damon hair, and we're going to show you guys that. Matt kicks his mom out. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. I didn't
Hell
care.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I was like, why don't both of y'all just pack up and leave Mystic Falls?
Just get out.
It's just both of you.
Get out. Yeah, he kicks her out. I was good with it. You know what? You're not helping paying the bills. Anyways, you're just
get out of here.
Get out. Get out. Stefan has a little minty bee. Mm-hmm. And he's like holding Elena. He's crying. This is the point in the episode where you really start to understand their trauma bond because... he basically is saying to her, like, I'm not okay. Yeah. And it's worse than I thought it was going to be. Like, I'm trying to get things under control, but I'm scared of hurting you.
And I don't know. If I was Elena, I would have been like, figure your shit out. Like, figure it out. I literally cannot help you. I am your, like Edward says, you're like my own personal brand of heroin. Like, I can't do anything. Yeah, why are you crying to me? And just figure it out.
Everyone's heroin to him right now. Yes. It's one of those things where it's like, and it has to be intensified by love because he says, I just love you so much.
And also, this episode wasn't that bad. I went into it, I was like, it's bored, but now that we're breaking it down, I kind of like it because... I think it's a good thing that they do the arc that they're about to go into. Yeah. Because Stefan, he portrays as such a good guy, so there has to be kind of something that balance it out. They could have given the bloodthirst to Damon and made him seem that way, but they gave it to Stefan instead. I am kind of glad that they did that. Yeah. And I think it adds stuff to the show.
And then there's a lot to explore when it comes to it. We don't know, like, what that's going to mean yet. So the episode ends with Damon again. So he says to Stefan, "It's worse this time, isn't it?" And because Stefan comes in looking shot out.
Yeah, he looks like an addict.
He looks like
he is tweaking out right now.
He does. He looks shot out. He looks like he's been on a bender all night. It's bad. And Damon says it's worse this time, isn't it? And he doesn't say anything. He leaves the glass there, doesn't come back and get it, and Stefan gobbles it up. I mean, just go. And that's the end of the episode.
That's it. I do want to know everybody else's opinion on this episode.
Yes, because like I said, this is a good one where I agree. It starts off. I think what's wrong with this episode is
so many things.
Uncle John. Well, Uncle John is what's wrong with this episode, and then Stefan was so douchey at the party.
Yes.
But then seeing him break down that way, it's, but that is how it is. Like, when you're high and if anybody knows anybody or has ever been an addict, that when you're at your high, that's when you're like, you've got your attitude, you're on top of the world, you think you can, and then you start to crash down. Yeah. Then, you really cling on to people and things around you. And that's what Stefan's doing right
definitely
now.
Tell us what y'all thought of this episode. Because like I said, I went into it and I was kind of like, from face value, I was like, it's kind of whatever. But as we broke it down, I was like, this really ain't that bad. This is a pretty good episode.
For the Covington connection this episode, we actually do not have a location. But we did want to talk about it because you're going to actually see this place. Yes. So we're going to show you guys some pictures. It used to be an event center in Conyers. It is now a private residence. But for a long time, there were weddings that went on there. Vampire Diaries did filming there. But it was a very sought out wedding interview.
Gorgeous house. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful wedding venue. It was called the Sierra Villa, something I believe. That. And we're going to show you guys some pictures of the next episode. We'll show you some pictures of them because that's daytime. You can see the property a little bit better. But we have some pictures from this episode too, and we found some pictures of the property with no one there. So we have some things for that.
It is a private residence, and it's one of those ones where you can't see it from the road.
You can't see it from the road. Don't go there.
Yeah, please do not.
Please do not go there. I don't care if like the forums and the groups and the guys have the address. That is a very private residence. It's off a dirt road. If going to jail is something you're interested in when you're visiting Mystic Falls, okay.
But just remember that one person can ruin it for everybody else. So if you do know where it's at, just please be very respectful and not try to go and find it.
Please be.
But I think it also is good to mention too that this really shows you that they film everything out of order. Because when they're at this house, they're not, like, doing this scene, going and do some other scenes. They're going to film it all at once while they're renting the home.
If I had to, and I'll double check because
this does kind of bleed into the next episode.
I think Jessica's an extra in the next episode. So I will double check, but I'm fairly certain they did film at that house for about 3 weeks between the two episodes. They were out there pretty much nonstop. And it's another one of those properties, kind of like Lockwood, where it's private. Yes. So you have the opportunity to film those late hours and get shots in and not have to worry about so much about bothering people around you. Neighbors,
especially because that one is so isolated. Yes. I mean, you have pretty much free reign over it.
And we actually see it 3, maybe 4 times in the series. So they used it all the way up until like season 7, but we'll talk about it some more as we go through. But MVP of the episode. This is hard. This is a hard one. I don't really know. Honestly, I think I'm going to say Jeremy. I think I'm going to say Jeremy because it seems like out of everyone, even Matt, his mom, everyone, he's the only one asking questions. He's the only one that has said, okay, like I may be able to accept that she overdosed, even though I had been spending time with her. I know that she was sober. Yeah. So he knew that. He said, I may be able to accept that, but someone still buried her. That's a crime. Nobody's saying anything about it. So I do feel like I'm just going to give it to Jeremy because I feel like Jeremy is the only one trying to actually get to the truth, and nobody will tell him the truth when he could do some good with it.
Yeah. Nobody. None.
That's fine.
I mean, really.
I mean, honestly, everybody sucked this episode.
And I felt like I was just going to come up with a person and be like, oh, this was the best of the worst.
No, and that's what Jeremy was. Jeremy was the best of the worst.
I really couldn't find.
I don't think there was a good. I don't think there was a good MVP this episode. Like I said, I literally only give it to Jeremy because that was the bare minimum. So I guess we give it to Sheriff Forbes because that dress. She looked hot in that dress.
You know what, Sheriff Forbes, because she got to not wear her uniform for once.
She did. She looked real good. She real good.
Now, my quote, I did like this quote. It's when Damon comes over to talk to Elena about Jeremy, and Elena's like, let's go into my room. Come on, shh, be quiet. He's right there. And then Damon's like, no, Elena, I will not go into your room alone with you. And then Jeremy also, this just goes back to like him, you know, Damon pushing past him in the door and Jeremy being like, damn, okay. And again, Jeremy's just like, whatever.
Yeah, he just doesn't question the two of them at all. Just trust
like,
that his sister's loyal. Yeah. That's funny because my quote is actually Damon right before that when he knocks on the door and she answers. And he goes, you ask, I come. I'm easy like that. So that was. But I actually have a second quote because I was going to say the little minty bee that we talked about with Stefan having. And he was like really breaking down. He did say, all I can think about is how I promised to never keep anything from you. So now I'm telling you. And I loved that scene because, you know, like, again, if anybody's ever known an addict or known someone that's been addicted to something, how hard it is for them to be that vulnerable. Yes. So I did appreciate him saying to her, I'm trying not to lie to you, but I would rather, I don't really want you to see this side of me, but, you know, I promise you I wouldn't. Him. Yeah, I do. I do too. Especially because it was a situation where it was really Elena's like he fault. Said. Like... Well, it's like he said, she was saving his life and he was saving hers. But if she had stayed in the car holding, you know, we all know.
Never happened.
And that's a wrap for Under Control, where we learned that in Mystic Falls, the smallest slip can turn order into chaos, and control is always just out of reach. What's up next? Episode 19, Miss Mystic Falls, where the stakes move from the shadows and the secrets into the spotlight. What happens when the town's biggest night out becomes another stage for danger? Stick with us. The pageant is just the beginning.
And I think the next episode is what everybody's excited to see.
Yeah, this one's a big one. This is
a very famous episode.
This one is a big one. And again, if you guys enjoyed the episode, please share with us, especially this one. We want to know what you guys think. Use hashtag Bloodlines and Backdrops. You know, tell us how you're surviving this series so far. And until then, stay safe, stay vampy, and remember in Mystic Falls, nothing is ever as it seems.